friends, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Sarah, and on this channel we talk about all things music ed, especially ways to make your classroom more meaningful and joyful for you and your students. Today I'm going to be talking about different ways I use the Cajón with grades K through 4. The Cajón is a really great instrument. I purchased this one personally off of Amazon, but I am definitely going to be putting in a budget request so I can have one at each of the schools I teach at. It's just easier than lugging it around. But the Cajón has been one of the best purchases that I've made. It's fun to use. It's a great alternative or second option to just a basic like tubano or conga drum that you have in your room, because you can make the middle tone, which is more of a deeper sound, and the side sounds, which are more like a snare, a little more high. I am not a trained percussionist. I'm just going off of like methods and performance, techniques that I've seen in videos. But the Cajón is a fantastic instrument, and I'm going to share with you different ways that I use it in grades K through 4. In kindergarten, I use the Cajón to play or to do an activity with students called Hands Like This. Hands Like This is an activity where you are giving a recurring signal that goes like this: hands like this, hands like this, hands like this. And every time you say hands like this, the students clap whenever you hit the drum. So hands like this, they clap. Hands like this, clap. Hands like this, clap. And then I've seen a few variations on this. What I just do to make it a little easier for myself is to give an instruction like move your shoulders to the beat. And while I'm playing that pattern or some sort of pattern, students are moving their shoulders up and down to the beat. And you can change that instruction. You can change it to stomp your feet to the beat. You can change it to clap your hands to the beat. Walk around the room to the beat. And in between each action, as you've given them time to do it, hands like this, hands like this, hands like this. So in between, you're kind of giving them that refocusing signal that, okay, let's come back and, it's exactly what I just said it was. It's a refocusing signal, so you can give them another instruction to do. As you are helping them learn this activity, you want them to know that their main focus, what their main goal is to be moving to the beat. So we talk often about how the beat is a steady, consistent pattern, like a heartbeat. It can get faster or slower, but it's not out of control. So flapping arms doesn't look like this. It might look like up and down and up and down and up and down. If you want to model all the different commands that you're going to be giving ahead of time too, that's fine. This is a great warm-up activity that can take a fair amount of time. You can ask students to give the commands. You can ask individual people like, what would you like to do next? But the Cajón is a great way to accompany that activity. In grade 1, we practice feeling rests. And grade 1 is when I introduce notation. 2nd grade is usually when I introduce what rests are, but I feel like that's probably going to change in the next few years as I sort of acclimate to my job. I'm in my 2nd year at this job. And I think that 1st graders can handle rests in notation. They certainly can handle rests as we're learning them with this activity. I don't have a name for it, but with attendance, what we might do is all stand up in a circle, and I will play a pattern, leaving the last part blank. And for attendance, what we'll do when they're all standing up and I keep playing that pattern is just say everyone's name in the gap one by one as we go around the circle, and as we say their name, they sit down. We do this sort of ahead of time, practicing by clapping in the gap. So I'll say, put a clap in the gap. We'll do that several times, and then I will replace that with, all right, now say students' names in the gap. Like that. In 2nd grade, I do something similar where I do a pattern with a gap. But this time, I've given students each an egg shaker, and I'll ask them to put one shake in the gap. Shake. 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 And that's not too difficult for them. But as as we continue the activity, I'll say, okay, put 2 shakes in the gap. Imagine what that's going to sound like first. Let's try it. Shake, shake. Shake, shake. Or shake, shake. Shake, shake. But as long as they all agree or that you can end up solidifying that pattern, great. Put 3 shakes in the gap. Shake, shake, shake. Shake, shake, shake. We'll do 4 shakes in the gap. Shake, 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 shake. Shake, 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 shake. And we'll talk about how those, once we get to 4, our patterns sort of collide. They intersect, or whatever word you think that they would understand there. Once we practiced with all 4 of those options, 1 shake, 2 shakes, 3 shakes, 4 shakes, I will go around the circle and each student will get the chance to do an egg shaker solo, where I'll do the pattern for each student, and they can decide if they want to do 1, 2, 3, or 4 shakes. And this is good at solidifying that steadiness, making sure that they're feeling how 2 parts can interact and how it's sort of like a communication. In 3rd grade, I will have students find the beat to the pattern that I'm playing and only clap on beat number 1. And I'll have a pattern going in 4, and I'll ask them only to clap on beat number 1. Sometimes I'll make 1 really obvious, putting my hand in front or making it a little bit louder, but I'll have them clap on 1 so that they are silently counting in their heads. We'll also do different combinations. So I will say clap on 1 and 2. And you can stretch these activities out by asking them to imagine how it would sound first with nothing happening. You can stretch it out by asking them to imagine it as you play the pattern, but don't actually clap, just imagine where the claps would be. That's a way to practice without a lot of sound happening, and then you try it. We do, like I said, different combinations. So you could do 1 and 2, you could do 1, 2, 3, you could do non-consecutive beats. You could say clap on 1 and 3, clap on 2 and 4, clap on 1 and 4. That gets tricky because you have the pattern looping, so you have 2 claps in a row, but they're at different parts in the pattern. In grade 4, we do something similar to what we did in grade 3. You could split the class in half and have half the class do certain numbers and the other class do certain numbers. They can intersect or not. You can give half the class 1 instrument, the other class another instrument, and have different timbres going. But that's also just something that helps them count internally, feeling that square number 4. You can also do this in different meters, but I tend to I certainly start with 4. They are counting internally. They are learning how to connect musically with each other in 2 or more different groups, and that's a great thing for them, especially if you've got like a band program or chorus program at your school, or that they're going to move into where this skill set is really going to help them succeed. Depending on the skill level of your students, you can certainly push these activities up or down a grade level if you think so-and-so can handle it or maybe not. One of the questions I get though a lot from students is, can I try your cajon? My answer is usually no, because this is my personal instrument. But what I will do, instead of just a free-for-all, if it's a class that I can trust, and I talk about trust a lot in my music room because we're always using things that are communal, right? We're using instruments that other people use. We are in a space that when we make noise, even on purpose, it still affects other people. So I talk about trust a lot. If it's a class that I can trust, I'll have them all stand up in a circle and rotate, walk around rather, and as they pass me, they can get 2 hits. They can hit both in the middle, both on the side, or one of each. And they just circle around until everyone's had a turn, and that's pretty much as far as I go with that. Students are curious. I like to indulge that curiosity. I think that's important, but within certain boundaries. The cajon is a great instrument to have in your music room. Like I said, I plan on getting more cajons for my school, so I don't have to cart them around all the time. But yeah, blah, blah, blah. I didn't want to say that. The cajon is a great instrument to have at your elementary school. It's a great accompaniment instrument too. I didn't even talk about how I might want to use this in chorus this year, but I'm mostly in the general music classroom, so this is certainly where students recognize it from, is general music class, but it's a great accompaniment instrument as well. If your students are learning barred instruments or ukulele or recorder, it's a great accompaniment instrument. It's just a little more striking, I think. I just prefer the sounds of this to other kind of drums we have in the classroom. So if it's in your budget and you think that it's something that your students would find interesting, I think it's absolutely well worth the investment. If you have any questions about the Cajón, how to maybe use it with your students, if you have a big class, small class, if you have students of varying skill levels or abilities, certainly drop them in the comments and I will get back to you. If you already have a Cajón and you are using it for something I didn't mention, drop those too so we can kind of learn a bit from each other. If you are interested in getting updates on any media I put out, I have a weekly email list. It's part of the, it's called the ADM community, or the A Different Musician community. I will leave a link to that below and you can subscribe. If you're a music educator, if you're a new teacher, if you're a teacher without a music education degree, like me, I do have music degrees, but I did not actually train to be a teacher until after I got my graduate degree. If that sounds like you, if that sounds like your situation, this email list is a great place for you to be. I pop into your inbox once a week and provide you with hopefully a lot of great stuff that you can use with your students. Until next time, happy music making.